In this video, we're going to review how to properly set up your user's microphone, speakers, and handset that they'll be using with the application. If this is your first time launching the application, the audio device menu will automatically be displayed on the right side of the app. You can see it here with red triangles signifying that it's waiting for a selection to be made. If this is not your first time selecting your audio devices, this menu can be accessed through the settings menu that you can see here on the left side of the application within the control panel. To start, we're going to select the microphone and speaker that are going to be used as the default audio device for our shout-down connections. You can see here, we're going to start with the microphone section at the top. The first thing we're going to do is select this top drop-down menu and take a look at all the devices that we have connected to the PC. We're going to select our Cloud9 gooseneck microphone, and then we're going to adjust the gain on the microphone till it's between 80 and 85. This is the default setting that we want to set the microphone to, and we want to make sure we leave enough room to increase or decrease the volume depending on the user's voice and speech pattern. If the volume has been turned up to 100 and the user has said their counterparty still can't hear them, additional boost can be applied by opening the drop-down menu here and then adding additional boost as needed. Once we have the gooseneck microphone selected, we're then going to select the speakers that we're going to be using for our shout-down connections. Down below, we're going to select the drop-down menu again, and then we're going to locate the speakers that we want to use. In this particular case, we're going to use the desktop speakers that are connected to the PC. If you're unsure of what speaker you have connected to the PC here, you can click the little play button and it will send a test tone to whatever device you've selected. Once you're satisfied with your microphone and speaker selection, you then want to come up to the connection type and select the speaker icon, which signifies that these devices are going to be used by default for all shout-down connections. Once we've selected our microphone and speaker for our shout-downs, we're next going to configure our handset for our ring-down connections. You can see below microphone we have our left handset option here, and just like before, we're going to select our microphone and speaker that is being used. First, we're going to select the microphone drop-down again, and we're going to select our Cloud9 handset. We're going to adjust the volume level till about 50%, again leaving room to increase and decrease the volume of the microphone on the handset depending on your user's voice and speech patterns. Once you've selected the microphone for the handset, you're then going to select the earpiece for the handset as well, again by clicking on the drop down and selecting the Cloud9 handset. If you'd like to test the volume of a handset, you can click the play button below and send a test chime to the handset earpiece. Once we have our handset selected, we're then going to make sure that the handset is being used by default for our ring-down connections. We're going to come up here to the connection type again and make sure we click the bell icon, which is for ring-downs. Some users may wish to use an additional third device with the application, such as a second handset or a headset. To enable these devices, simply click the checkbox next to Enable Additional Device. It will expand the menu and allow you to make the audio selection for the microphone and speaker of that third device. Once we've made the audio device selection for our microphone and handset, we're then going to select the audio device that's going to be used for all incoming ringtones and alerts. That is down below the right and left handset selection here under Notification and Alert Device. We're going to click on the drop-down menu, select which speaker we'd like to use to hear all these incoming sounds. Again, if you're not sure which device you have selected, you can press the play button, which will send a test tone to whatever device you've selected in the drop-down menu. In addition to adjusting the audio device settings here within the Cloud9 application, you may need to adjust some audio settings within Windows operating system itself. To do this, you can either open it through the shortcut here within the audio device menu by clicking on the microphone or speaker link, or it can be accessed by right-clicking on the speaker icon located in the system tray next to the clock, and then selecting Sounds. On the Playback tab, we're going to look and see which device is configured as a default device for our PC. It's going to be indicated by the green check mark that you see next to the speaker icon. It is important to note which device is labeled as default because all other PC sounds are going to be played through this device. If your user has other applications that they wish to listen to outside of Cloud9 and use a particular speaker, you want to make that device selection as default. For this example, we're going to set our default laptop speakers as a default device for all of our sounds on the PC in general. we're going to select the speaker and set default right below. If the user has other applications that they're using a microphone for, you may need to set a default microphone as well. In order to do that, we're going to click on the Recording tab, select whichever device we'd like to use as our default microphone, and then click Set Default. The last setting we want to change while looking in the sound window here is under the Communications tab. The setting on this page is the action that Windows is going to take when there are two or more applications competing for the same speaker. An example of communications activity is when Cloud9 is running simultaneously with the webcast. Since both applications will be competing for the same speaker setup, Windows is automatically going to reduce one of the application's volume by default of 80%. We want to change this setting from 80% to do nothing, and then click Apply. This setting will ensure that all application volume will not be adjusted. Once finished, you can press OK and close this window. Once all of your audio devices have been selected and you've made adjustments within Windows sound settings, you can then save these settings within Cloud9 by clicking on either the back button or the X here in the top of the settings menu. If you'd like to adjust your audio devices at a later time, you can access that audio device menu by clicking on the settings gear within the control panel and then clicking the audio device menu, which is the third option down. Simply expand device details to once again make those selections. This concludes the lesson on how to set up and configure the audio devices for your user's application.